One small step for man, one giant leap for the old world. That is quite cool though, isn't it? Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Dragonheart the Prince of Wales, and I'm joined by my friend.
Hi, it's me.
You know him already, but if you don't know him, it is Paul.
Lord Rexasaur.
Lord Rexasaur from
Patch
Notes and occasionally Update Mondays.
Depends what day it is.
Yes, I hope you're all well. At the start of this video, I would have done a little intro and I would have put some information about where we've been today. So we've been on the train. We have gone from Cardiff to Nottingham, and I have made the great pilgrimage to Warhammer World for the first time in my life. You've been 3 times?
Yep, this is my 3rd.
Yeah, and it was a very good experience, wasn't it? I loved it. Seeing the dioramas, especially the Tomb King one. Obviously, I'm a Tomb King player. Seeing the Tomb King and the Bretonnians just going at it was cool. The amount of detail on some of those models was insane, especially those very, very small ones you showed me earlier on. There was 40k.
Yeah, the Imperialis, something like that. I can't remember.
That just blew my mind when I saw them.
The fucking 32. No, like 3mm scale. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. Bought some goodies as well, which I will reveal at some point on the channel for a future project. We'll keep you guessing what I bought. Do you want to talk about what you bought? Or?
Oh, I just bought some elves.
Just bought some elves, yeah.
Which you'll probably see on the channel at some point.
Yeah, because I'm doing battle reports and there's work going into the table. I got some plans for that. That's something completely different, which we'll talk about at a more appropriate time. But we're here at Warhammer World. We enjoyed it, but we're in Nottingham for a very specific reason, and that is the Old World tournament at TSN Arena by Square Based. Which, if you don't know what Square Based is, it is a podcast run by Rob and Val. It's a podcast that both of us are big fans of. We've been watching it for the best part of a year by this point, I think. And they run tournaments literally every few weeks, every month in Nottingham. And we are making our debut. Well, I'm making my debut in Warhammer tournaments overall. You've obviously appeared.
Yeah, I've done 2 40k tournaments before, but this will be my first Old World one.
So, do you want to talk about your list?
Yeah, so I'm bringing Warriors of Chaos. I'm bringing a meta list, apparently, according to everyone else's list.
Yeah.
Because we've got our rosters up for everything. There are 4 Warriors of Chaos players, including myself. My list is what you would expect from Chaos-ish. Yeah. I have a dragon. I have a very powerful Sorcerer Lord. I have some Dragon Ogres. I have a Chaos Nurgle spawn. And then, unlike most of the other lists that we've seen, I've brought Marauders with me today. This weekend. So that's going to be the big pivotal change compared to other lists.
Yeah.
All of the other Chaos lists have bought a dragon and some sorcerers, and some Dragon Ogres. But I know one of them's got a second dragon, which is going to be fun. Some of them have bought a lot of Chaos Knights. So there is variety in the Chaos list, which is very interesting. But all of them do have Chaos Lord on Dragon,
which is the meta at this stage.
You have to bring it.
Yeah. Our friend Cameron is also with us. He's not here yet at the moment. He's coming in later this evening, but he'll be at the tournament as well. He is playing a Bretonnian Exiles list, which I went up against about 3 weeks ago in the garage, in our garage table. I gave him a very good game in that. we played Breakpoint, and he killed my High Priest, and somehow I made a bit of a recovery, had him on the ropes at one point, and maybe if the game had gone a couple more turns, maybe something would have changed, but he did beat me. But it was a very strong Bretonnian Exiles list.
Yeah, I don't think he's made many changes to that list.
No.
So he's got he's playing Exiles, so he's got a Baron on a Pegasus, he's got a Paladin on a Pegasus, which is his battle standard bearer, and with the magic horn that makes you can't fly.
Yeah.
He's got 6 Pegasus Knights, 2 cannons, and then he's got a bunch of archers and a bunch of blunderbuss boys, and a very big unit of knights with a damsel.
Yeah.
That's his.
It's a very good list.
So yeah, it's a very decent list.
Yeah. So I'll go about my list very quickly. So I'm playing Tomb Kings. I'm repping the undead Sandy Bone Boys.
He's the only one.
I'm the
somehow.
only one somehow. We'll talk a little bit about the list and the numbers in a second, but I have my Necrolith Bone Dragon with the Tomb King on top with the Armour of Ages, because it's such a good thing to take for Tomb Kings, and at this stage now I just can't go away from that build. It's just working so well for me. I have my High Priest on a Skeletal Steed. He has Ruby Ring of Ruin. He also has
Heretic Jar
for the extra Arise, and he's going to be doing Elementalism with the Lord Familiar. I know what spells I'm taking. I'll probably put my list in this video at some point anyway. I have my Tomb Scorpion with Ambush. I have Skeleton Archers with Ambush, which worked very effectively against you in a recent battle that we had on Bank Holiday Monday just gone, which, to be fair, that battle wasn't
we played
fair.
meeting engagement. I don't like meeting engagement.
It sucks. It does suck as a. They need to tweak it. We've had this conversation, but they do need to tweak some of the rules with that. I think we played that scenario because we weren't sure with this tournament whether they would use that scenario, and we haven't played it for like a year.
Yeah.
Like when I first got into the game, we played it, and even then you were screwed over in that battle.
Well,
Yeah, so it happened twice against you. Maybe just you.
Yeah, maybe I just need to stop rolling ones. I just need to roll better.
That would help a lot.
I
Yeah.
need to roll better.
But we played it just because we haven't in a long time, and we just didn't want to be like found out or be confused about things when we come to play tomorrow and Sunday. So I got them. I've got my Necrosphinx. I have my Necrosphinx. I have my Casket of Souls. Ushabti. I got 4 Ushabti this time. Now I'm going for 4 with great bows. So they're going to shoot things, especially like Pegasus Knights, because there's a lot of.
You can volley it. You can kill 4 Pegasus Knights in one turn with that.
That's the plan.
Luckily,
it might not work.
Luckily, you don't have to kill that many because only one person I think is bringing them. So Cameron, that's it.
Well,
the other Bretonnian.
Cameron knows what's coming for him if that's the case. So. And then I've got Tomb Guard. I've got a big block of Tomb Guard. I've gone for 26, which is the biggest I've ever taken. And with them, it's a Necrotect, which is something you suggested to me to take, which is really good. The Necrotect has a ability called Eternal Taskmaster. You do a leadership check. His leadership 7. You pass your leadership. Every unit in the front rank will get a +1 attack.
It's a +1 attack and hatred.
And hatred all enemies for that turn. So really, really effective.
Yeah, really good.
If it does come off, obviously his leadership is a bit low at 7, so it's a bit hit and miss. But when it does come off, it can be good. Yeah, and because my Tomb Guard are drilled, and that will allow me to extend my rank, so I can get more people attacking in that front rank. And also, they have a banner called the Banner of the Desert Winds, which means that I get a reserve move, which I'm hoping to not forget.
What you should
forget
is the Vanguard move at the start of the
Vanguard
game.
at the start of the game, which is good. It's not much. They've got like 3 inches, but it
adds up a lot.
It adds up a lot. And if you're trying to make up ground quickly, if I'm looking to target something early on in the game, I can just make that move and crack on. So that's them. I also have a Mortuary Priest, and he has the Amulet of the Serpent, which is poisoned attacks for him and any unit he joins. Now he is joining a unit of 15 skeleton archers, which means when they're firing 15 shots into opposing enemy on 6s, it's going to be an auto wound. So it's something that's very useful, hoping to try and pick up some damage there. So that's my list in a nutshell, but they will be listed in this video at some point. Do you want to go through the list?
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of the lists.
We'll go through all the lists, but we'll let you know what factions are being represented in each tournament.
So it's actually quite a mix, although it is very skewed. Warriors of Chaos have 4 entries, as I've said.
Yeah.
We do have, I think, 3 Bretonnia lists as well.
Yeah. Are they all exiles?
No, only 2 of them are.
2 exiles.
One of them is a normal Bretonnia. Then we've got 2 Skaven.
Big up the Skaven.
Which are playing Renegades, which is a special pact made by Squarebase, which makes them a bit more competitive. A lot of their rules have been reintroduced and a few tweaks here and there. So that'll be interesting to see. One of those Skaven lists is just giant rats. Why not? We've got 2 Wood Elf players, which is going to be also very interesting. I've never even looked at the Wood Elves at all, so it'll be really interesting to see how they play. We have 1 single Nomadic Warg.
So the Nomadic Warg, I had a look at this list earlier. It's 14 chariots, basically. 14 chariots. That includes characters. It's like, wow, I was just going to charge up the board and just wreck into things.
We've got 1 Dark Elf player.
Yeah.
We've got 2 Empire players. And then we've got a Vampire Count player and a Dwarf player.
Yeah.
So there is a very big mix. I think both of us are a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but if there had been Lizardman, that would have been really fun.
Yeah.
We thought there was going to be a Beastman player. Doesn't appear to, maybe he's dropped out or he's not playing Beastman in the end.
It looks like there's 18 players in total, which is great. It's an even number, so everyone will get a game. How it works is there's 3 games on the Saturday, and there'll be 2 games on the Sunday. Like I said earlier, this is my first tournament. If I can win a game, that'd be amazing, but I'm just going here for the vibes. I'm just going to try and enjoy myself. Win or lose, it's taking part and just the experiences, and hopefully make some friends as well. So that's kind of what I'm here to do. I
think that's just the plan, is just to make friends. At this point, I'm looking at these lists and I realised, just looking at the other Warriors of Chaos lists, I'm like, okay, my list is actually competitive. I've not made poor decisions here, because it's very similar. There's a few changes. And in the end, I think it'll just be dice rolling, which will decide it. So I'm not looking to win. I think just because of how Wars of Chaos are at the moment, I think I've got a good chance of at least getting 2 wins under my belt.
Yeah.
Possibly 3, but I'd be happy with 1.
Yeah.
Just 1 win. That's all I want. Just a little win here and there. Or what I want is 5 close games. 5 games where I'm really happy how I played. That's what I want.
So for me, like, I'm in a completely different place to you. You've got experience playing Warhammer Fantasy. You've done tournaments for 40k before and things. I've played against a lot of variety of different people.
Yeah.
With me, I've played many games against you. I've played against Matthew in Merthyr. Played against Cameron for the first time. But I've only played against 3 people in Old World in its entirety so far. So this is way out of my comfort zone. I've only played certain factions as well, so it'll be an eye-opener playing against Empire for the first time. Even though I've got an Empire army I'm working on, I haven't played as them yet. Dwarves I've only used once, and to be honest with you, the list I used was very much like a starter kind of list, and that battle didn't go well for me either. So playing against Dwarves will be a bit of a new experience. Vampire counts, I hope I play against the Vampire counts. I've never played against them before, so it'd be cool to play against them, especially because I'm thinking about maybe playing as Vampire counts one day. That the models do look really cool, and my wife Michaela also said to me that she wouldn't mind painting some models for Vampire counts. So it's like, just give me permission to buy them, maybe. Who knows? So that's something else.
Just something I've just realised. There's no high elves.
No, there aren't any.
There are no high elves, which is interesting. Is it because they've only just come out? So people haven't painted them up yet?
Yeah, because all the other factions that have been released
they're all
are represented.
At least once.
I'm surprised only 1 Orc and Goblins army is there, and it's the Nomadic Warg. This is a very strong list, Nomadic Warg. I've used them before, but
it's just really interesting seeing the makeup of what we're going up against, because there's actually quite a few Renegade factions, because we've got Vampire Counts, we've got 2 Skaven players, we've got Dark Elves.
Yeah.
So that's what, a third of the players already?
Yeah.
So it's actually really interesting that there's no High Elves. I guess it is probably just a case of they've not been painted yet, so they're not bringing them. That might be what it is.
It probably is that case.
Because it's really interesting actually. But yeah, just thought
just randomly.
Just a random thought that I realised.
So the point that I was making was, even though I'm new to all this and stuff, I'm looking to make friends and just enjoy myself. And if I finish bottom of the table, which is a strong possibility,
I don't think so.
But if it does happen, I can at least sing, "I'm bottom of the league, I'm bottom of the league, like Cardiff City, I'm bottom of the league."
I think your list is strong enough to at least become mid-table, which is more than Cardiff ever could do.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of our lists, to be fair, based on what we've seen, have a competitive possibility of being mid-table. I think that would be where all of us would be really happy with getting that.
Yeah.
And I think even at the bottom, I think we'll be happy as long as we have a good time.
Exactly. So what we're going to do, this is like the intro vlog. I might see if we can take some photos tomorrow of just a few battles here and there. Maybe I'll do like a battle report separate to this, where I talk specifically about the battles. But in this particular video, it's just going to be sort of quick recapping of the whole experience, basically. So we've got the Warhammer World part of it today in this segment. Tomorrow we'll have a chat, me and you. Maybe Cameron as well. We're not really sure at this stage whether he'll feel like it, because he's going to be travelling late tonight and stuff. So we'll wait and see. But we'll talk about our first 3 games in the next segment, and then we'll sort of go from there. So, ciao for now. Hello, and welcome back. So it's the same video, but it's another segment of the video.
We've changed shirts.
We've changed shirts. It is Sunday morning at the time of recording this. It is the start of day 2 of the GT. We're going to quickly recap our day 1, which was interesting. So I'm going to go first.
Mm-hmm.
In my first battle, played against Owen, and he had an Empire of Man list. He had a beautifully painted Imperial Griffin, which I took some photos of, so hopefully post-production Richard will remember to put some images of the photos. Images of the photos? Photos of the battles that I took yesterday. Yeah, English is not my first language.
Yes, it is.
It is, unfortunately. His army absolutely tore me to shreds. I put my High Priest behind a forest, which I thought might be out of range of things, and he basically cannon shot me turn 1. It bounced in front of the forest, and then it really ripped through my High Priest. Killed my High Priest instantly, couldn't get my saves or anything, and then I was crumbling for the rest of the game. I think I lost most of my army to crumbling rather than him killing me. If that hadn't happened on turn 1, maybe things would have been slightly different. I think he would have beaten me still. He had a very strong list. His cannons were devastating. He shot my Necrosphinx to death. My dragon held on for a while because I was Grammar of Ages, so it's got quite a bit of durability. But unfortunately, I died. So that was game 1. Owen was fantastic. He sat down with me afterwards. He actually went through my list with me. He was like, maybe you should take double dragon. Maybe you should try something different. Maybe not have him on horseback, that kind of thing. He said number 1 priority is probably not to be like as exposed. Maybe turn 1 or 2, just keep him sort of hidden a little bit longer and doing that sort of thing, which I do know, but I'm just an idiot and had it exposed. But Owen is a fantastic player. He told me that he's been playing, I think, since 8th edition. He's got over 200 battles in the Old World already. He goes to tournaments on a regular basis. He's the current regional champion from where he is in the UK, so he's very, very good. Game 2, I played against a gentleman called Tony from Sunderland, and he had a Vampire Counts list. It was the first time I ever played against the Vampire Counts, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was a Screamer list. I've heard some things about Screamers before. Hey. I was waiting for you to do that. And turn 1 and 2 were okay. I shot his Fellbats, I killed one of his units of Fellbats, I killed both his units of Direwolves, I did a couple of wounds on one of his Terrorgeists. He moved up very slowly with his zombies, and once he was in range, he just started screaming things to death. On one of the turns, I had my 26 Tomb Guard. He just screamed at them, and 21 of them just died instantly. My Bone Dragon got screamed twice in the same turn and died. Literally, I had like 4 wounds gone, and then like 6 wounds gone, and just done, dead. I was able to finish off the Terrorgeist, and I was able to get my first points of the tournament, because the first game I lost 20-0. This game I lost 17-3, so I got my first 3 points, and I'm on the board. So that was an improvement. I didn't lose my High Priest in this game at all. I did play Coward with the High Priest. I kept him behind the back line, far away from Vampire Counts. Fortunately, the Vampire Counts have no shooting, so they weren't able to sort of target him anyway, but I just wanted to try and make sure he wasn't getting charged or things like that. Then in my third game, yesterday, was against Ed Milton. Ed is from Bath. He's part of a wargaming club. He told me that he's going to the Welsh Open in October, which is what we got tickets for. Ed's lovely. He gave me a free dice, so thanks for that, Ed. If you do happen to randomly watch this video, that'd be insane. I had a very, very fun game with him. He played Bretonnian Exiles. I was obviously Tomb Kings. And he had his trebuchet, and he said to me, my trebuchet never does anything. And then once he said that, it did something. He took up my Casket of Souls quite early in the game. He then had his General and his Pegasus Knights reserve move in the first turn, quite close to where my Ushabti were. My Ushabti are on a hill, so I'm thinking the opportunities there. Ushabti are good. This is what they're made for. I rolled, and I rolled poorly. I didn't really do what I wanted. I killed one Pegasus Knight. They then got the charge in. They won combat against the Ushabti. The Ushabti did kill another Pegasus Knight. They then tried to overrun into my High Priest, who was on the hill behind, so hiding behind the hill. So if he overruns into them, I could lose my High Priest early on again. Fortunately, because my High Priest is a loner, there's an evade rule where I was able to pass my leadership check and evade, and that's what I did. I sort of got out of the way. I then moved my High Priest into a position behind my Bone Dragon, try and be sort of safe, but also do some spells and stuff. Didn't really work out. He was basically his peasant bowman took 2 wounds off my High Priest, and then the template that he had down for a magical spell literally just went into the High Priest and killed him, and then I started crumbling. This was like halfway through the game. My Scorpion didn't come on till the very end of the game. I kept rolling for ambush over and over and just kept failing. My ambushers that are my missile troops, my skeleton skirmishers, they didn't come on turn 2, they then came on turn 3, and they just kept trying to shoot one of his cannons, because that's like the only thing that they could viably try and get me points. And they did get the cannon down to 1 wound, but unfortunately they just kept crumbling by this point, and the cannon was able to easily finish them off. And then my Necrosphinx was in combat on the left flank. It was against a Duke, it did a little bit of damage, but then the Necrosphinx crumbled a little bit, had 2 wounds left, and eventually he just died to the crumbling, which was just unfortunate. And then the battle just was very much in his favour. Once my High Priest died, he died. I didn't have enough stuff on the board to do anything or to react to anything, and he was able to sort of swarm me. But I did take out quite a few of his units, and I got 4 points in this battle, so I feel like my plan was better. It's just I had a few bad dice rolls at key points early on. But him certainly getting rid of the casket cells early did a lot for him, because it meant that I didn't have as much range as I once had, which was a bit of a shame. But overall, very enjoyable experience for me. I definitely learned a lot from these first 3 battles. Today now, I've got, well, I don't know who I've got, we haven't looked at the draw yet, but I've got a 4th battle, and then there will be a 5th battle, which we'll get into at the end of this segment, because there's a little bit of a issue going around with transport. But I'll now pass you on to my friend Paul here.
Yeah, my games. So in my first draw I got Cameron, which was interesting, but I didn't particularly want to redraw. And also, because I've not played Cameron with my warriors since I absolutely decimated him, I was like, okay, this is a good time. And Cameron won. His horn, so he has a horn of Friedmund, which makes it so that I can't use flyers, which means my dragon was basically did nothing for 4 turns. And then I don't actually think he got in combat at all, actually. It was so bad. He cannoned me basically off the board and stuff, so I did manage to get a few points here and there. I did manage to take out like all his wizards, and my Chaos Spawn did a lot of work taking out his cavalry. So I lost 16-4 against Cameron, so I was like, oh god, okay, it's done well. But then my second game was against Nomadic Wireless, the 17 chariot list. And I was very fortunate that the mission was a mountain pass, because it meant that he couldn't use any of his maneuverability. He had to come at me at waves, and well, Goblin Wolf Chariots are not very hardy.
Yes, they're not.
So I just basically managed to take him out wave after wave, and he rolled really poorly on some of his attack rolls, specifically with his general and his battle standard bearer. He needed like 3s and things, he could get in 2s and 1s, and it was just so bad. He also failed a chart. He did Itchy Nuisance on my Dragon Lord with
such a good spell.
So my dragon was down to toughness 4 and only like 3 initiative, and then he had his Wolf Shaman was with his unit of 4 Wolf Chariots, so that's a big unit, and he failed his charge, and it landed right in front of my Dragon Ogres on the flank. So I flanked, and then just picked him apart. So it was a very quick game, but I mean I got to chat to him for 2.5 hours, so that was a lot of fun. And then my third and final game of the day was a mirror match against Warriors of Chaos. Played a guy called Matthew, who knew the Warrior of Chaos army much better than I did, but when I spoke to him afterwards, it turns out he's played every single Old World tournament here at Nottingham, not only at the TSN Arena, which is where we're playing, but also at Warhammer World. So I'm like, okay, you basically just know the game inside and out. I learnt a lot of rules that I had just overlooked or it never really come up. And also he was like, oh, remember your Dragon Ogres can do this, or remember your Marauders have this, and I'm just like, how do I keep forgetting that these are rules that I have?
Yeah.
So that game did not go well for me. He had a very mobile list. It was just cavalry, and then his sorcerer was on a chariot. He had 2 dragons. He had a Warpfire dragon and a regular dragon. So he just ran away from my lord and killed everything else, and then killed my dragon by pincering it. And the Warpfire dragon really wrecked me because it removes all ward saves within a 3-inch bubble. Couldn't really survive it, so I lost 20-0 for that one. So it was a really devastating battle for me. Yeah. I basically just got completely outmaneuvered. I mean, that's what happens when you're going up against just a cavalry force, and I've just got infantry with a fast dragon, but that's not really the point of my list. So not great, but and then I have no idea what I'm going to be going up against Game 4.
So before we go on to Game 4, Game 5, in the table at the moment, I am the best Tomb Kings player at the tournament. I'm also the worst Tomb Kings player at the tournament because I'm the only Tomb Kings player. So it's very likely in Game 4 I'll be drawn against the Skaven player because he's also at the bottom with me. I think he's 1 point or maybe 2 points.
He's 1 point higher than
One point higher than me, so we're probably having a little battle for the wooden spoon maybe. So we'll see if I do get drawn against him. You've got an opportunity maybe
it's either going to be it's either going to be Empire or Bretonnian Exiles again, because those are the people either side of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point we're vying for the bottom more so than anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm still higher than Cameron, but that's just because my second game was an 18-2, which it was just because of the matchup. There was no way that I was not going to win that. But I don't feel super confident, basically. But another win would be nice.
Yeah. So, Game 5. So, this is what we have suggested. So, we've obviously travelled by train to come to Nottingham, and it's a 3.5, 4 hour train ride, something like that.
It's 3 hours.
3 hours on the train. We have a specific ticket for a specific time to get back. We've made arrangements with our wives to, whatever, pick us up. And unfortunately, we woke up this morning and the train's been cancelled. So we are now going to have to go on the train that's an hour earlier, which will cut into the tournament, which means our Game 5 cannot overrun at all. It also means whereas before we both said we probably won't be able to go to the awards ceremony, it's a case we definitely can't do that now anyway. So what we've suggested, because we're both in the bottom half of the draw, currently at the moment anyway. I know I'm definitely going to be there by Game 5 because of how badly I've done so far, and there's a good chance you still might be there, who knows. But we've sort of said, if there's nothing right on the game, we'll ask the TO if we can play each other, because you started the tournament playing Cameron, so you're quite poetic to bookend it playing me. I get my rematch against your very strong,
I wouldn't say very strong at the moment, it's not doing well.
Your very strong Chaos Army with my Tomb Kings, and then we can sort of just say, if there's a lunch break or something, we're just going to run through it and try and get it done as quick as we can.
It's really sucky because we were like, okay, we're already missing the award ceremony. That's what we already had that, and then this morning being like, actually your train's cancelled, so you can't even have a full last game anyway.
So it's really, really unfortunate, but there we go.
Hey, it won't happen in October.
Bring on the Welsh Open.
Because we'll be in Wales, and if the trains are cancelled, we'll just walk home anyway.
Exactly. So we'll end this segment here. I hope you've enjoyed. There will be another segment after this where we'll do a post-tournament wrap-up.
Oh, I can do that on the train.
Do it on the train, So if you like train vlogs, subscribe.
If the train exists.
If the train exists. At which point we'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe it's ran late again, it's been cancelled. So, we'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we're back at home. I'm recording this about a week after the tournament finished. I went up on the Friday, this is the following Friday, so a little bit of a review of the tournament overall, and also to let you know how my 2 final games went. So in Game 4, which was the first game on the Sunday, I played a lovely guy called James Brewerton. He's a commissioned art painter. He does a lot of miniature painting for people, and he was telling me that it's his passion, and it's something that he recently started doing. Gave me his business card as well, which is really cool. And he likes to try and get people's armies painted to a very good standard, because a lot of people don't like painting, or they prefer the playing side of the hobby rather than the painting side of the hobby and stuff like that. So I had some really good conversations with James. He's one of the nicest people I've met in Warhammer so far. And he had a nomadic warg list full of pesky little orcs and goblins, and it had 14 drops, which was insane. My Tomb King list had 6 drops and 2 ambushes, so I had 8 units in total. And we were playing the tower, and basically how it works in tournament, you have 3 layouts for how you can set up the table, and you roll the dice, and then if you win the dice roll, you discard one which you don't want. Your opponent discards the other one that they don't want, and then you're left with the remaining layout. So we did that, and we ended up having the hill in the centre of the board representing the tower. And unfortunately, the hill's profile is quite large compared to some of if there's a forest, it'd be a little bit smaller and things like that. And also the fact that there's a lot of units on the table, there's not much maneuverability going on. I actually struggled in this match with my kind of movement. It was a bit of an eye-opener for me. So, because I felt quite confident going against Nomadic Warg. I've got a Nomadic Warg list myself that I've used a few times, and there's a lot of strengths and weaknesses with that list. The strengths being that you get your impact hits, you get your choppers rule, your first charge rule, your Tusker charge rule, and you just get into things and slam in and get as many attacks off as you can. That's kind of what they are. They're a very fun list to play. But unfortunately, the way that it's set up, so I had +1 on the roll. He obviously deployed more units after I'd finished deploying, because I've only got 6 and he's got 14. I'm hoping to try and get my Ushabti into his Shaman. That's kind of like the game plan for me. If I can get rid of his magic, take out some high profile units, and then try and mitigate his orcs with like my dragon and my Necrosphinx, and then use my casket to shoot other things. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. But the way things worked out, put my casket in the centre of my side of the board, because I'm thinking my Lich Priest, my High Priest can be quite close, my level 2 can be quite close, and get +1 to my spells. And I'm hoping I can just sort of aim around the sides of the hill, because the hill is no line of sight. Unfortunately, that doesn't really go to plan. So my casket's there, my Ushabti's on the hill, but he's able to deploy his Shaman and all of his good units far away, out of any threat range from me whatsoever. I'm having to sort of commit forward a little bit, so I sort of creep forward a little bit with my Necrosphinx. He comes down the board to meet me. I then get the charge off of my Necrosphinx. I think I kill an Orc chariot, but then he gets like a couple of chariots into my Necrosphinx. My Necrosphinx ends up dying. Because of all this is going on, because the casket has got quite a big base, because the Necrosphinx has got quite a big base, because there's a lot of units on the board, and because the hill is the main kind of central point, my dragon's got a massive base, biggest base out of any unit on the table. I can't actually maneuver physically to get into things properly, and it's a case of I don't want to be left stranded because he'll get all his charges off onto me. I want to be the one charging him because I cause terror and I'm able to get a few units to flee, that kind of thing. I just ended up being a big mess. My dragon was just not utilised efficiently whatsoever in this match, and a large part of it was just down to the size of the base, the fact it's such a big thing and I had so little room to manoeuvre. And what ended up happening was I lost my Necrosphinx. He's able to get a Goblin Wolf chariot to come around the flank towards my level 4. My level 4 I moved back towards my dragon, so it retires behind my dragon, so my dragon can try and take on the wolf, which is obviously the sensible play to do. In the meantime, he's come flying down the other flank with 3 or 4 units. I kill a Goblin Wolf chariot, and I end up my Tomb Guard is literally like extended by a couple of ranks because I've got drilled, so I can add more units to the front rank. They have +1 attack, so I've got like, I think at this point I've got something like 12 or 14 in the front rank. It's quite long. I think I start off with like 8, so that'll be about right. And I'm getting my extra attacks and stuff on, and unfortunately I'm not able to do much damage because he gets all the impact hits and stuff. I lose so many Tomb Guard on the impact hits, and then whatever I got to fight back with, it just does like 2 wounds or something, and it doesn't kill anything. It was just awful. Yeah, so I had 26 Tomb Guard. I end up losing combat by quite a bit because I've been triple charged. I got like 2 Orc chariots and a Goblin Wolf chariot on me, and I end up crumbling by, I think it's like crumbled by 11 or something, and that I actually ended up being the whole unit because I'd already lost a lot in combat. So I lost my Tomb Guard, and he said to me that's what he's trying to do, try and wipe me off the board so I don't regenerate and don't come back, because it could be a bit of a problem for him. Once he's done that, he's got full control of that flank. I got nothing else to sort of threaten him with. And then he is basically going after my Ushabti. I'm shooting with my Ushabti to try and take out a Wolf Chariot, which I do. He then gets into the Ushabti, wins combat against Ushabti, overruns, and gets into my High Priest. My High Priest also gets attacked with his General, who's also come down from sort of behind the tower and into the centre. By which point my Dragon is kind of still trying to like jostle. I can't really get charges off. I can't really do anything just because I'm in such an awkward position. And then just a bit of a mess really. So I lose my High Priest, I start crumbling. The other big thing that happened, which has been a theme for the entire tournament for me, was that my ambushers just decided, nah, I'm not today, I'm not coming on. My Tomb Scorpion doesn't come on until turn 4. I think my archers come on turn 5, so they came on a bit too late. The archers got wiped out quite quickly. They had 1 turn of volleying towards I think it was an Orc Chariot, which is the only thing that was in range they could shoot. The Orc Chariot's got more saves than what a Wolf Chariot's got, so it's a bit unfortunate, a bit of a mismatch. I was hoping to use them to try and take out the Wolf Chariots, but they weren't in range. And then The chariot just turns around, charges them, kills them, and when they form up for combat, so I've got 16 of them, the way they form up for combat, they're right by the edge of the board. The 4 at the back just end up going off the table, and I end up losing them. So I've got 12 left, and then he wins combat very easily against them. They just die. They're already dead, but they just die. And then the Scorpion, bless his little cotton socks, he just doesn't do anything. He didn't do anything all tournament. I was very disappointed with my Scorpion, because they're very good. They're quite cost effective. They're 70 points, 75 if you put them into ambush. They have poison attacks. They have stomp attacks. They cause fear. I think they cause terror as well. I can't remember. They have swift stride. They have a heavy armor. So they've got a lot going for it for 70-point model. But ambushers, they're just annoying. So what I should be doing is using my High Priest to try and summon them from beneath the sands. I should be doing that more. That's something I'm going to start trying to do in some future battles. I think that's something that will really help my play, because it gives me a dual threat of, well, I can, if they don't come on during the movement phase, at least I can try and bring them on with my priest. So that's something that I can look to do. But yeah, he won the battle quite cleanly, to be fair, and then we had a good little chat then for about an hour then after the battle, just talk about like painting, me getting into the hobby, some of the armies that I'm collecting, some of the things I'm looking to do, and that sort of thing. It's just good fun. He's a really nice guy to talk to, James. I really enjoyed it. And then after that then, we played Battle 5, which is the final battle of the entire tournament for me. I'm on a big losing streak. Will things change? No. I finished bottom of the table, guys, so, which isn't surprising. I was the least experienced person going into this tournament. Every single person I played had years of experience on me. I'm in my first year of, I think, yeah, I'm still in the first year thereabouts to be playing. I'm just over the first year, I think, actually, but yeah, I've been playing about a year. I've probably only been playing more competitively in the old world the past few months as well. I'm only a few months playing competitively, I would say, and I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing all right. It's a lot to get my head around, but going back to the 5th battle. So what happened was we were our train was delayed, which was a nightmare, and we ended up having to miss the award ceremony, and we were worried that we may have to like call the 5th battle like early or something, because we were conscious of the time and things. What ended up happening was, though, I got drawn against Paul anyway, which we both sort of said we'd be happy to see if Rob, the TO, would allow us to play each other. But I think just because we were both in the bottom half of the table, and Paul had won 1 game at this point and had lost 3, and I'd lost 4, so it wasn't, even though we had a lot more points than me because he had a win, and his losses hadn't been as damaging as my sort of losses, or some of my losses. There's a strong possibility that I'd be against him or Cameron anyway. I got to play Paul in the last game. We played each other. It was an open battle, and I felt quite, I don't know what the right terminology would be, but I felt kind of fed up at this point, I guess. I think I was just tired. I think I'd played, I hadn't set properly for 2 nights. It was my first tournament. It's quite overwhelming. I very quickly came to the realization that my list wasn't that strong, as in I have to roll well, I have to play a very certain way, which I can't always play depending on how my opponent lines up, how I line up, and other variables like the scenario and things, and also relying heavily on my ambushers coming on at certain points in the game. And I think every single battle I played, apart from when I played the vampire accounts, because they came on straight away in the vampire accounts, but that was Mountain Pass, and they couldn't do anything in Mountain Pass because they were against ethereal banshees, because he'd moved his banshees towards me, so it was literally like, I can't target you, I can't do anything, I feel useless. I think that's kind of the point, the theme for me, is I felt a little bit useless with my army. There's certainly a lot of things I would change with my army if I was to play Tomb Kings in a tournament again. We'll talk about that in a second, but the battle with Paul, his Warriors of Chaos, he had the Infernal Puppet, he had the Dragon Lord, he had his Dragon Ogres, he had his Marauders, very good units, his Dire Wolves, he had a lot of stuff going for him, and I had my regular Tomb King army. My ambushers don't come on for a few turns, so the same sort of thing. I think turn 4 one of them came on, I think turn 5 the last one came on, I think. That seems right. I might be wrong by a turn, but I know the one came on and the one didn't about halfway through the game, but I know they didn't come on straight away. So I think I had 2 turns where they didn't come on, which was annoying for me. But yeah, I have my block of archers with my level 2. We got the Amulet of the Serpent to give them poison at its attacks. I'm shooting his wolves. I'm killing a bunch of his dire wolves, which is going great. I'm trying to get a unit off the board. At this point, honestly, I'm in this battle. No one's died yet. No one's actually happened. We're on turn 1. And already I'm thinking to myself, I just got to try and kill units and just try and get points. I don't really think I have much of a strategy of winning this. And a lot of this is because I've played against his Warriors of Chaos army quite a few times now with my Tomb Kings, and I've never beaten him with my Tomb Kings. I've beaten him with my Orcs and Goblins, and I feel like other armies are better equipped to face Chaos. I don't feel like Tomb Kings are that equipped, or certainly the list I had was nowhere near being well equipped for it. So I go for poisonous attacks on the left flank. I kill a few wolves, send them back to the kennels. He comes up with his Dragon Ogres. I'm starting to shit myself at this point because I'm thinking, oh god, they're going to lose the Dragon Ogres. My Necrosphinx goes charging past the Dragon Ogres into the centre of the board. I'm going towards his Chaos Spawn. I get a charge into his Chaos Spawn. And then, I can't remember if the Necrosphinx... No, I get a charge with my Dragon as well into the Chaos Spawn. So I have a double charge onto the Chaos Spawn with my Dragon and Necrosphinx. And I defeat the Chaos Spawn. So I take out a big unit of his early on. That's some points for me. That's good. Happy days. He then gets his general, his dragon. He gets his Dragon Ogre, I think it was, into my flank. I think that's right. I might be wrong. He has a flank on me. We go into a combat, a challenge. And because I got Armour of Ages, he keeps re-rolling wounds to hit, wounds to me, and that's sort of keeping me alive and it's keeping me in the battle. I lose my Necrosphinx. My Necrosphinx did lose a few wounds earlier on to the spawn, and ended up getting killed in the battle. And he goes. And then the funny thing was, we have 5 sequential turns of combat, so it's like. His turn 2, my turn 2, his turn 3, my turn 3, his turn 4, that kind of thing. And if we'd gone another turn, we both said we would actually have pushed my dragon back far enough where he wouldn't have a flank on me anymore, because he wouldn't have the flank bonus, which was giving him +1 to combat at this point. But as it turns out, he's able to get my last wounds off me. He takes all 9 wounds from my dragon. I think my dragon only took 2 wounds off him. I think he was down to 7. I think he starts with, yeah, he's either on like 8 or 7 or 8 wounds left, something like that. My dragon didn't do much, and I lose combat. And by this point, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I've lost my dragon, I've lost my Necrosphinx. My poison boys, they get taken up by the Dragon Ogres easily. He's got full control of that side of the board. My Scorpion and my ambush archers don't want to come on yet. On the right hand flank, I got my Ushabti on the hill, which is perfect place to put them. And also my Casket of Souls, again, perfect place to put them. Get full visibility. I got 360 no scope with my Casket of Souls. I'm able to just pick my targets in a 36-inch range. My Ushabti got a 30-inch range great bow. And I'm picking off Marauders, I'm shooting them. My Tomb Guard go into his big block of Marauders, and they get absolutely crunched. They go Frenzy, so they get the charging on me. That was the big thing with me. I think I pushed too far forward. I think I should have held for a turn, got more ranks wide or something like that. And then pushed up, but I unfortunately was in his charge range, and because they frenzy, they got a charge and he gets the bonuses then. So that was a mistake on me. He gets the charge into me. He crushes them very, very easily. I lose combat. They disintegrate. They die. Marauders have controlled that. The other unit Marauders, though, I am able to sort them out somewhat. My Scorpion does come on. My Scorpion gets a rear charge into them after I've already whittled them down a little bit with my Ushabti, and then I basically crunch into the back of them. They end up fleeing combat, and they end up going through my Ushabti and the other side of the hill. His level 4 has actually come towards my level 4. He's taken all the wounds off my level 4. My level 4 dies. We did forget, we both admitted we forgot to do the Neckenharen undead rule where you Hierophant dies, you got to crumble, you got to do leadership tests. We had a turn where we forgot that. Whoops. I don't think it would have made any difference. He was well in control and destroying me at this point. So my level 4 dies. My casket's on the hill. My casket's doing some things. It does a bit of damage. I am able to shoot my his level 4. Took his last wound off his level 4. I killed his level 4 wizard. So I have killed his level 4 wizard. I have killed his chaos spawn. And I have made his marauders flee. So I've done a few things in this battle. So there are some positives. I don't think I've killed his level 4 before. So it was the first time I'd done that. So that was something that I was quite happy with from this tournament. From a combat perspective. But he just rolls everything up the board into that right hand corner of mine and just completely takes over everything. Right at the end of the game, literally in my last turn, the archers decide to come on, the ambushers, and I put them in a place where I'm trying to take out his direwolves, and he just tries to like cover his direwolves with a bunch of dragon ogres to try and stop me from shooting them. I am able to get range. I do have one turn of trying to shoot them. I don't do anything, unfortunately. I just roll really badly. I think I kill one wolf, but there's still like one left. Because there's like a group of 5 altogether. I'm hoping to try and take the whole unit, because that might be me getting like another point on the board, but alas, it's to no avail, and he ends up winning 18-2. I'm not sure if we're doing this thing at this moment where it's like if you've got a unit that's usually do a unit that's less than 25%, but we were calling a unit of 50% in this tournament. I think his marauders were the one unit of marauders that have fleed earlier on. I think they would have been, so I'm not sure if that's an extra point or not. It doesn't make any difference. I was bottom of the table, which I was expected to be there going into the tournament, but yeah, you do come away from it and think, I think I was disappointed more with my list than how I played. I think I played okay. I think I played the cards I was dealt, so to speak, and the scenarios and the players I was against, and yes, mistakes were made, but we had fun. Especially the first battle, the first turn against one of the best players there. Just killing my Hierophant. First action of the game. Cannonball into the face. Dead. I mean, that was fun. Crumbling all game. That's the biggest problem with Tomb Kings. Is just the crumbling mechanic. The Hierophant is so important to the list. And you can get away with it if you've got units that got high leadership. Like the Bone Dragon hardly ever takes wounds when I crumble. The Necrosphinx sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. But then when you've got like Tomb Guard and Skeleton Archers and things, just losing all of them constantly because the leadership is so low. I think Skeleton Archers leadership is like 5, so you're hardly ever passing on their leadership, so it's a bit of a shame, but that's the way it goes. But it was a very enjoyable time. I enjoyed my weekend. Want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Cameron and Paul for being great company. It was good to go up there with them and have a few battles with people that I've never played before. We're all big fans of the Square Base podcast. I was actually watching it earlier today in my because I'm working from home today, and I was actually had it on in the background where they were talking about the Wood Elves and the Wood Elves release and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the channel, and it was nice to take part. Nice to meet Rob. Rob was amazing. He was one of the nicest people you could possibly meet. We were all in for food with him in the evening on Saturday evening, and that was great. And yeah, got to chat with him a little bit about a few different things, and yeah, just a really enjoyable experience for all of us. But yeah, I'm going to end this this video here. It's going to be a bit of a weird one. It's just a combination of just different vlogs pushed into one with a few photos and stuff. So not my usual kind of thing, but hopefully you get the gist of what happened this weekend with us and things like that. As far as like best moments and worst moments and stuff goes, worst moments definitely got to be the first turn of the first battle when I lost my Hierophant. Just how badly can you think with that? Best moment, it's hard to say. I enjoyed my battle with Ed. I really enjoyed my battle with Ed Milton in the third game. We had a good little tussle with Tomb Kings and Bretonia. I felt like that was the battle where I played my best as well. And it was just a lot of funny things happened. Like he was like, "Oh, my trebuchet never does anything," and then his trebuchet proceeds to completely melt my casket of souls. And then he was like, "I hope I don't misfire now with my cannon," and he misfired twice in a row. Just little funny things like that. Just very enjoyable experience for me. Playing against vampire counts, I really enjoyed that, and I am half tempted to get a vampire count army, especially after seeing them play live. The guy I played was really cool. I was talking to him afterwards for quite a bit about different things. He was telling me about like his work life and where he lives and stuff like that, and how he got into the hobby and things. And His Mortis engine had a little like spell book at the front, and it's got Aldi's and Lidl's because he works in one and his wife works in the other. And I just thought that was so sweet and such a cool little detail on his army. But the fact they scream and just you take like leadership checks, and if you fail, that you take that many wounds. Oh, it's deadly. It's so deadly, so filthy, and I want it. I want it. But I am to make myself do with the Empire for now. I'm actually in the process of building up some Demigryph Knights. I got 6 of them by here. You can see the riders loose. I've only just been building these today, and the plan is to get these primed. Going to buy myself a prime this weekend. Going to prime my Demigryphs. Going to build up my Empire Knights and prime them, and then I'm going to prime the rest of the army as well and go from there. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I've been Dragonheart. Until next time, goodbye.